"Ordinary people should leave from here," said Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame coldly, his gaze indifferent as he spoke to the few behind him. His words left no room for negotiation, and a powerful, invisible aura surrounded him, slowly awakening like a giant dragon in slumber. The power of the sixth evil god of the extraterritorial realm could shake the heavens and earth. Without the protection of the sacred flame, it was impossible to participate in this mission. Even though they were all the pride of their respective realms, this was a mission that could only lead to death. Moreover, the deal mentioned by Xiao had indeed shaken the calm heart of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame. Since the battle between the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal and the sixth evil god of the extraterritorial realm, the Master had fallen, and this cave mansion had been established to suppress the remaining power of the sixth evil god. However, with the passage of countless years, the power left behind by the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal had weakened significantly, while the residual energy of the sixth evil god had begun to show faint signs of revival. Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame had been ordered by the Six Paths Reincarnation Immortal to guard this place, but as one of the top 3 sacred flames on the sacred flame ranking in the Great Thousand Worlds, how could he not want to resolve this issue and find a worthy master to spread his vast divine power across the Great Thousand, making the world aware of the immense might of the third sacred flame? Damn it! Let's go. Yes, the sacred flame cave mansion holds other valuable treasures. It's not worth losing our lives here. The other 4 exchanged a glance, their eyes filled with a trace of reluctant nostalgia. However, after a brief moment, they left without hesitation, turning and walking away. In an instant, only Xiao, Yun, and Tang Feng remained in the place. Beneath this ruin lies the body of the sixth evil god of the extraterritorial realm, while his consciousness has already taken control of the Master. Let's move. Only by working together to find his true body and destroy it will we have a chance to erase his consciousness. Both the body and the consciousness must be destroyed. One cannot be neglected. Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame casually flicked his fingers, and a vast ocean of orange-golden flames completely surrounded the Great Hall. No matter how the black light pillars and the evil black energy buzzed, they could not escape the confines of the hall. Now the Crimson Fire Golden Realm was under the control of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame, like an ancient, unchanging formation, suppressing all life forces in this place. The sacred orange flames shimmered with a brilliant light, and waves of terrifying energy silently spread throughout the Great Hall. What a terrifying formation! Xiao stared at the space with blazing eyes, an endless aura of sacred flame emerging from deep within his gaze. Suddenly, a mysterious ancient symbol appeared on the elegant face of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame, right at his brow. The symbol was orange, slightly twisting, like the most ancient power from the beginning of the world. It was ancient and sacred, like a peerless flame containing both the power of reward and punishment. What should we do? Xiao and Yun exchanged a look. At this moment, there was no time to consider Tang Feng. Their eyes circled the triangular ruins and the black light pillar in front of them, before finally returning to Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame. 8 sacred flame inscriptions should be able to greatly limit his power and evil. As for the rest, it seems we must rely on our luck. Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame smiled slightly in response to Xiao and Yun's question. At the same time, a vast wave of flames swept from his body. The immense divine aura caused the black light pillar in front of them to wobble slightly. Clearly, these were the sacred flame inscriptions of Xiao and Yun. The power of the sacred flame was immense, but the power of the sacred inscriptions was the final form of the sacred flame. The immense force within a single sacred inscription could tear through the void and fill the vast ocean. Let's move. With no time for further explanation, the expression of Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame became sharp. The sacred inscription on his brow fell off and, with a flick of his finger, it shot through the resistance of countless fire slaves in the ruins, diving into the endless abyss beneath the triangular ruins. The fire slaves in the ruins contained the power of sacred flame and had been used to suppress the true body of the evil god below. But now, they were no longer needed. As the orange, sacred inscription streaked into the abyss, violent, soul-shaking tremors erupted beneath the dark ruins. A massive whirlpool, thousands of feet deep, suddenly appeared. As soon as the whirlpool emerged from the ruins, it was accompanied by a menacing evil energy that seemed capable of annihilating all life, roaring as if it wanted to devour everything in its path. Boom! Xiao Yin and Yun exchanged a glance. Then, with the protection of the Hellfire Slaves and Flower Spirits, they summoned the overwhelming pressure of the sacred flame. 7 sacred inscriptions, each with its unique expression, were controlled with incredible finesse, and they struck the abyssal whirlpool beneath the triangular ruins. Whoosh! Whoosh! The black light pillar seemed to detect the attack from Xiao Yin and Yun. It pulsed, emitting an eerie aura as though trying to prevent the trio's strike. Boom! The black light pillar vibrated violently, and after a moment, it let out an evil, chilling roar before abruptly shooting towards Xiao Yin and Yun, carrying a surge of black energy that shot into the air. At this moment, Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame let out a startled cry as the immensely powerful flame slave opened its eyes. Vast flames surged, forming round after round of blazing suns, causing the void in the hall to slightly warp. Crack! With a single strike, the flame slave hit the black pillar of light with pinpoint accuracy. The pillar immediately hummed, and in no time, it transformed into a wisp of black smoke, darting into the abyssal vortex below. Whoosh! From the ruins below, the abyssal vortex roared, with 8 ancient, vast sacred inscriptions swirling together, carrying the flame god's cauldron, which had emerged from Xiao Yan's flame mantra, slowly approaching the world below. No one knew how far the abyssal vortex stretched, but the only thing clear was that if the sacred flames and the flame god's cauldron couldn't find the true body of the evil god below, Xiao Yin and the others would face an unprecedented catastrophe. This abyssal vortex has already been consumed and controlled by the evil god's true body. We must find the body to destroy it. Increase the power. Heavenly Tao Reincarnation Flame took the initiative, unleashing overwhelming power without reservation. The intense energy was such that even a true 5th reincarnation stage expert would likely be unable to confront it head-on. 3 dazzling beams of light suddenly burst from the hall, carrying an indescribable wave of destruction as they forcefully pierced into the evil abyss below. With the support of these 3 mighty powers, the 8 sacred inscriptions and the flame god's cauldron released a brilliant, divine radiance. The boundless evil black energy within the abyssal vortex instantly shattered, rapidly fleeing in all directions. At that moment, the pitch-black abyss gradually revealed its true face. Yet, at the same time, Xiao Yan's fear and unease grew stronger. It seemed that the deeper they went, the more his heart raced, and the fluctuations in the flame mantra warned of an existence below capable of wiping them all out. That was the true body of the 6th evil god of the extraterritorial realm, and the key to whether Xiao Yin could obtain the sacred flame. Heaven or hell, it would be decided here. Boom! A terrifying buzzing sound reverberated through the abyssal vortex below. The endless dark abyss was shattered by the 8 sacred inscriptions and the flame god's cauldron, with a subtle sense of disintegration emerging. The void twisted, and endless evil black energy dissipated like moths to a flame under the purification power of the sacred inscriptions. However, Xiao Yin and the other 2 controlling the sacred flame showed no signs of joy. The evil power of the abyss was too strange. With each descent of the sacred inscriptions, they had to expend a significant amount of reincarnation power. Now, with the sacred inscriptions so far from them, if their reincarnation power ran out, the 8 sacred inscriptions might be left in the abyssal vortex forever. Without the sacred inscriptions, their sacred flames would no longer be complete, and the cost would be unbearable. The buzzing sound persisted as Xiao Yan's gaze followed the sacred inscriptions, slowly watching for any movement deep within the abyss. Under the suppression of their immense power, layers of black light dots began to appear in the depths of the abyss, resisting the purification power of the sacred inscriptions. With the illumination of these black light dots and the sacred inscriptions' power, Xiao Yan's vast soul force vaguely detected a figure at the bottom of the abyss, a figure that was completely black, thin, and emaciated. With somewhat eerie black hair, this figure emanated an incredibly mysterious and strange fluctuation. The silhouette looked quite plain, almost indistinguishable from an ordinary human. The figure was bound by countless orange-golden sacred flame chains, which were filled with reincarnation power and special patterns. The suppression force was particularly strong. Even the skin on the figure's body was sealed by a layer of impenetrable sacred flame crystal, suppressing all its life force and rendering it immobile. Despite this, the overwhelming evil energy still radiated from the figure's body. The sacred flame chains and the crystal were gradually corroded, with clear signs that they could be shattered at any moment. This is the true body of the sixth evil god. He's actually human? Yun's dark eyes widened as she stared at the shadow in shock. Even with all her strength, as she gazed at this figure, an intense sense of unease surged in her heart. The legacy of a peak fifth reincarnation stage expert still looked like this. What kind of monstrous power did this figure possess? Extraterritorial sixth evil god, filthy evil lord. Heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's eyes turned red, and an unparalleled killing aura spread, with 6 faint shadows of the 6 paths appearing around him. Those were the 6 path puppets. However, Heavenly Tao reincarnation flame dared not relax. This is the main hall of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal, and we must not allow this black energy to surge out. If it merges with the body of the 6 paths reincarnation immortal and awakens the evil god's consciousness, it will be an unprecedented disaster. The 6th evil god, filthy evil lord? Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan's gaze, accompanied by his soul power, fixed on the evil god beneath, whose form was suppressed by countless divine forces, attempting to uncover some mysteries hidden within its body. Boom! As Xiao Yan moved, it seemed as if boundless evil black energy in the abyssal vortex had been provoked. It automatically surrounded the evil god's body in a protective barrier, while other black energy continuously shot toward Xiao Yan's side. The space distorted, and a violent, strange wave surged into Xiao Yan's body. Sadness, joy, hatred, multiple bizarre emotions flooded his mind, causing Xiao Yan's soul power to scatter. A maddened, killing aura reflected in his eyes, and even his mind sank into a temporary daze. Under the impact of this black energy, Xiao Yan now resembled a beast driven solely by the desire for slaughter. This is emotional power. This evil god can control and manipulate emotional power. Its strength is mysterious and unfathomable. Sensing Xiao Yan's drastic change, the Heavenly Tao reincarnation flame burst forth with dazzling sacred flame, restoring Xiao Yan's rationality after much effort. An evil god whose body controls emotional power. Xiao Yan squinted, but a sense of unease lingered in his heart. Logically speaking, even the evil god, without its consciousness, would merely be a shell, easily defeated. But the 6th evil god's body clearly felt different. This guy is special. Even though the consciousness has taken over the master's body, the body can still fight instinctively. So, the situation we face remains far from optimistic. The Heavenly Tao reincarnation flame shook its head. If not for this evil god's strange and overwhelming strength, it wouldn't need to suppress so many reincarnations here. Attack. Heavenly Tao reincarnation pillar. 6 flame Buddha's fury reincarnation. 10,000 flower flame core. Return to the nest. Just as the Heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's voice fell, the flame god's cauldron erupted with intense light. 8 sacred patterns radiated from it, shimmering with the most blinding divine light, rapidly surrounding the cauldron and diving toward the evil god's body below. The violent force surged through the abyssal vortex, instantly consuming and purging the countless waves of evil energy. Even the most malevolent forces were instantly obliterated by the combined power of the 3 attacks and the flame god's cauldron. It's working. Seeing the formidable attacks charging downward like an unstoppable force, Yun couldn't help but clench her fists, nervously watching below. If the evil god's body was dealt with, they would have succeeded halfway. Crack! But just as the three thought the situation was nearly resolved, an unexpected black dimension suddenly appeared before the evil god's body. A series of fragmented sounds erupted, countering their attacks. On this black dimension, countless eerie and ominous evil energies appeared. Though they were shattered by the sacred flame, they still managed to block the strongest strike against the evil god's body. Extraterritorial evil artifact, the Devil's Heart evil realm. Xiao Yan's eyes were filled with disbelief. SSS. This time we've won. With the evil god's body withstanding the powerful attack, a somewhat ethereal black shadow emerged around it. A voice full of mockery and disdain echoed from within the shadow. The air around the shadow was thick with the scent of blood, and the energy flowing through the blood-red robe caught the eye. The one we encountered before. Xiao Yan's gaze darkened, and he muttered uneasily, "Lord Evil God, I beg your pardon." Yet the blood-clad evil shadow paid no heed to Xiao Yan and his companions. The figure knelt slightly and performed the highest form of etiquette from the extraterritorial evil clan. Then its speed surged, shooting directly at the evil god's head and brain. In that instant, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame and Yun Yun's eyelids flickered, and a deep sense of shock emerged from within their hearts. This person actually plans to control the evil god's body? He wants to control the evil god's body. Stop him. Xiao Yan's eyes sharpened, and his harsh command rang out. In the blink of an eye, his figure shot down like a released arrow, without hesitation, bringing all his reincarnation power with him, charging into the abyssal vortex without concern for the evil energy's corrosion. The moment he entered, terrifying evil energy surged, causing Xiao Yan's soul to tremble. It seemed as though the energy sought to impede his progress. From afar, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame and Yun Yun swiftly followed. They knew that if that person succeeded in controlling the evil god's body, the situation would turn dire for them. Watching the countless waves of evil energy swirling out from the abyssal vortex, Xiao Yan's face darkened as he let out a low growl. The dazzling sacred flame erupted from his heart, spreading outward to resist the oncoming force. Himph! As he looked at the three figures charging toward him, the blood-clad evil shadow's eyes flickered, and a hint of fear crossed his gaze as he stared at the sacred flame chains and crystal soul before him. The fluctuating energy radiating from the sacred flame chains and crystal soul was enough to utterly obliterate him. Ah! The blood-clad evil shadow abruptly turned his head, his entire body transforming into a beam of light as his speed surged, directly flowing into the evil god's body. However, the sacred flame chains and crystal soul, which were suppressing the evil god, immediately emanated a strange wave that purified and sealed everything, ruthlessly corroding and purifying the blood-clad evil shadow's original power. The gut-wrenching, soul-piercing screams echoed through the air. Incredibly tragic. We've already lost one evil artifact. What's another one? Boom. The blood-clad evil shadow's blood-red eyes were filled with madness, and he suddenly chuckled wildly. Lifting his hand gently, a beautifully carved evil demon mask appeared from within his blood-clad form. He crushed it with ease, and in an instant, countless ghostly demonic energies erupted, enveloping his body and quietly bypassing the sacred flame's binding power, heading toward the lifeless body within. Damn, it's too late. Ghostly echoing heavenly illusions. A crisp, soul-splitting roar reverberated through the abyssal vortex, but Xiao Yan was already a step too late. Forced into a corner, he could only wave his magnificent spirit palace, trying to stop the evil shadow's actions. Too late. Ha ha ha. The blood-clad evil shadow's body was drenched in blood, but a moment before Xiao Yan's attack arrived, he had safely entered the evil god's forehead. The blood-clad figure fell away, resembling a piece of blood crystal agate, and countless blood-red energies dripped down onto the evil god's body like flowing blood. Damned! Seeing this, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame couldn't help but roar in anger. The reason the extraterritorial evil gods are so powerful is because they wield weapons far more powerful than evil artifacts. Evil divine artifacts. Evil divine artifacts are forged from the power of their evil gods, absorbing countless human souls to nourish them, becoming incredibly powerful. As the blood-clad evil shadow fused with the evil god's body, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame spoke with regret. At this point, nothing could stop the situation from developing, and the only option left was to adapt to the circumstances. Could this evil god body be the evil divine artifact of the filthy evil lord? Seeing the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's grave expression, a bold thought emerged in Yun's mind. Yes, this evil god body, known as undying and indestructible, is the pride of the filthy evil lord. The heavenly Tao reincarnation flame shook his head, a rare solemnity gleaming in his eyes. For something to be called undying and indestructible by the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, a being of such power could only surpass the highest realms of imagination. Undying and indestructible? Then we'll fight until it is destroyed completely. Xiao sneered coldly. The fire and water energies within him began to stir in unison. If it came down to it, even demonic power and the god-slaying ruler would have to be used. This sixth evil god must be eradicated, or the consequences of its breakthrough here would be unimaginable. Not to mention Xiao still planned to devour the third sacred flame. Whoosh whoosh. The blood-clad figure dissipated, transforming into countless drops of blood that nourished the body. Immediately, the wrinkled skin regained a reddish hue, and even a faint breath escaped from its lips. A strange aura spread across the entire vortex. Boom! A sudden, unpredicted sound erupted from the vortex. Xiao and Yun felt their heads grow heavy as a sinister, cruel, and violent aura instantly filled their minds. This is bad. Seeing this scene, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's face turned pale, and boundless energy surged outward, continuously shielding Xiao and Yun. Boom! Xiao and Yun's eyes were like dead ashes, their gaze carrying a faint, dark energy. The strange fluctuation that had just appeared seemed intent on devouring and controlling their spirits. Are you okay? Thankfully, with the assistance of the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, after a few breaths, the eerie and violent aura was dispelled. I'm fine, but the upcoming battle will be fierce. Xiao shook his head, a sense of relief flashing in his eyes as he stared at the evil god body before him. The very aura that had been released before awakening was enough to unleash such terrifying power capable of controlling and devouring the enemy's mind. The evil god body's power must be far beyond imagination. What is the purpose of this broken map? In the distance, Tang Feng continued to hide within the main hall, not making any reckless moves. Ha ha ha. A bunch of ants. A bunch of damned ants. The evil god awakens, and all things shall submit. In an instant, within the abyssal whirlpool, endless dark, malevolent energy surged like evil spirits awakening from slumber. A towering shadow, crowned by countless evil auras, let out a long, earth-shaking howl towards the sky. The roar of the voice was filled with an overwhelming sense of hatred. Clearly, the blood-clad evil shadow, which controlled the evil god's body, harbored an intense desire to wipe out everything in this cave mansion, to quell the burning resentment in its heart. Having been sealed and suppressed through countless cycles of reincarnation, even if you control the evil god's body, what can you do? Your strength is but that of an ant in the extraterritorial realm. Today, this will be your day of destruction. The heavenly Tao reincarnation flame smiled faintly, the sacred inscription returning. A powerful wave of energy began to sweep across, causing the entire space within the abyssal whirlpool to collapse, as countless evil auras were driven back in defeat. Ha ha ha. Heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, the last time you and the Six Paths reincarnation immortal joined forces, you nearly perished at the hands of the filthy evil lord's crown. Now, with just you alone, do you have the audacity to speak such words? As the evil god awakened, its strange, dual-colored eyes emerged from the dark mist, exuding a chilling and deathly aura. No, we are here too. At the same time, Xiao, standing behind, suddenly laughed aloud. Just you? Today, this place will be your tomb. The evil god's body of the filthy evil lord seemed utterly fearless, directly mocking them. Two mere sacred flame wielders. Yet, to slay an evil god's body controlled by a vile villain, that would suffice. With that, a series of towering water curtains, gray thunder, and glazed flames surged from the abyssal whirlpool, akin to supreme beings who controlled life and death, slowly sweeping across the battlefield. What are these forces? Seeing the three distinct energies surge from Xiao Yan's side, the evil god's body trembled violently. Its eyes suddenly narrowed, and it let out a sharp, piercing cry. While the power of the sacred flame was indeed mighty, it was the gray thunder and the foggy water energy beside it that made it truly feel a terrifying fluctuation. Within it, there was even a force that caused the evil god's body to tremble in fear. This kind of fluctuation seemed to only exist during the first great war of the heavens and earth. How could it appear on a human now? These powers. The first time seeing these forces by Xiao Yan's side, even the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's eyes emitted a trace of fiery intensity. The latter easily sensed some familiar waves within them. Thunderlord, Basha Dragon King. This fellow's opportunities are truly enviable. After speaking, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's body was surrounded by radiant halos, flickering like ancient, vast orange-golden firefoxes, both sacred and ancient. A group of insignificant human parasites, having dominated the great thousand worlds for countless years, now let you see what true power is. Once the evil god's body finished speaking, it suppressed the shock on its face and stepped out from the endless abyssal whirlpool. A dark, gloomy light shot forth, creating a vast, evil mouth that hovered at the bottom of the abyssal whirlpool, buzzing incessantly. Come, join me in slaying the evil god. The heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's eyes glowed with a murderous intent. With a wave of his sleeve, a torrent of sacred flames surged forth, forming a fiery heaven that illuminated the entire abyssal whirlpool world. Within the abyssal whirlpool, countless black worms swarmed, each carrying a special power that continually poured into the evil god's body, causing this evil god, suppressed through numerous reincarnations, to grow stronger with every moment. These mere unremarkable sacred flame inscriptions think they can erase the evil god's body? A delusion. A mocking voice echoed from the evil god's body. At that moment, the giant mouth behind it began to stir, as if chewing food. Every tremor made Xiao Yan and Yun Yun's minds and hearts quiver. That wave of energy was clearly beyond the peak of the fifth reincarnation stage. Fully channel the sacred flame within. Flame god's cauldron. Come to me. The heavenly Tao reincarnation flame took a deep breath and suddenly roared. It was clear that he had already come up with a plan to deal with the evil god's body. Whoosh whoosh. Ignoring the heart-stopping tremors from the evil giant mouth below, Xiao Yan and Yun Yun focused on their hearts, continuously channeling the sacred flame's power to refine a pure sacred inscription. Along with the flame god's cauldron, they dispersed it around the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame. As the flame god's cauldron appeared, all the evil energy within the abyssal whirlpool, including the evil giant mouth, seemed to be provoked by an unprecedented challenge. A more violent surge of evil power erupted forth. 8-patterned ritual god cauldron. The imposing, ancient sound of thunder reverberated through the entire abyssal vortex. At that moment, the 8 intricate patterns around the flame god's cauldron were quietly filled by 8 sacred insignias. An invisible, ancient flame ripple coiled at the cauldron's mouth, constantly shifting and flickering. Above the cauldron's mouth, countless streaks of light suddenly appeared. After a moment, they interwove into a magnificent starry curtain. Within the curtain, a terrifying purifying power spread, and any evil force that approached was immediately purged into nothingness without any resistance. So, you came prepared. However, relying solely on your strength to activate this divine artifact only buries its renowned power. Not to mention, don't forget the evil god's divine artifact. Indestructible, immortal. As he gazed at the brilliant, holy starry curtain within the flame god's cauldron, a flicker of fear appeared in the evil god's eyes, but after a moment, his gaze turned to one of madness. The blood-clad evil shadow knew well the terrifying power of the sacred flame and the flame god's cauldron. However, with the current strength of the three, they could not unleash its full potential. Moreover, the aura of this flame god's cauldron seemed peculiar, almost like a flawed product, ethereal and unstable. Kill. Ignoring the mocking voice from within the evil god's body, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame immediately dismissed it. His palms pressed together, and all his primordial power surged out. His hands formed a series of strange hand seals. As the hand seals were completed, the temperature in the entire hall suddenly rose. One could vaguely notice countless orange-golden threads slowly falling from the air. These forces were all his sacred flame's essence. The heavenly Tao reincarnation flame was scattering his source energy throughout the entire hall to suppress the crazed evil god's body and the six paths reincarnation immortal. Boom! The flame god's cauldron collided violently with the filthy evil god's body. Terrifying purifying forces and black mist surged into the sky. The entire space exploded with a constant, buzzing noise, and the cries of countless wailing souls echoed through the abyssal vortex. Bang! The light surrounding the flame god's cauldron dimmed, followed by a violent tremor, and finally, it shattered forcefully. Ha ha ha. So this was merely a prototype with divine artifact power. After shattering the flame god's cauldron, deep, glaring wounds began to appear on the evil god's body, from which countless pitch-black blood flowed, distorting the surrounding void. Indestructible, immortal. A surge of unease and shock filled Xiaoyan's eyes, and soon, his gaze turned filled with true madness. With his current strength, Xiaoyan knew that the flame god's cauldron, like an afterimage, was only a remnant of a technique derived from his own flame mantra. It was incomplete. However, seeing the evil god's body resist that overwhelming destructive strike made Xiaoyan realize that this foe wasn't without weaknesses. At the very least, the so-called immortality was not without flaws. Damn! Seeing that his strongest strike hadn't completely erased the evil god's body, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's eyes filled with a rare sense of urgency and pressure. He looked down at the evil god's body, which was grinning mockingly. A prolonged battle was extremely disadvantageous to them. They had to settle it quickly, or once the blood-clad evil shadow gained control over more of the evil god's power, death would be inevitable. Senior, let's work together. If this evil god's body is truly immortal, let's shatter its soul instead. As the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame pondered helplessly, he suddenly felt a long-forgotten sense of dread coming from within his sacred flame power. He turned slightly, sensing an equally malevolent aura slowly awakening behind him. Behind him, dark green demonic light surged, slowly reflecting the figure of a demon. Under the influence of this evil power, a gaunt figure smiled faintly. His dark green eyes seemed filled with supreme, world-dominating malevolent power. It was a demon, an eerie existence with a power similar to that of the evil clan from the extraterritorial realm. Gurgle, what is this power? At this moment, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's gaze turned strange, watching warily as the demonic figure behind him emanated an overwhelming presence that seemed as formidable as the evil god's body. Attack! The demon, Xiaoyan, with eyes as black as ink, flickered with the gleam of a towering demonic soul. It slithered forward, endless demonic blood gleaming as though compressed into an intense force, wrapping around the demon's giant soul. The demon soul's body was illusory, and the terrifying, suffocating demonic power within it contained an almost destructive evil energy. That energy, while similar to the evil god's power, was not the same. Heavenly Tao reincarnation. Six-flame slave flood dragon. Seeing the madness of the demon Xiaoyan, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame's face once again wore a faint expression of pride. As the sacred flame slave flood dragon appeared, its massive body suddenly twisted and shook. The fiery waves on its tail flung out, spreading in all directions. Wherever it spread, the abyssal vortex collapsed completely, and countless evil forces were cleansed and purified. The demon giant soul and the 6 slave flood dragons howled in unison, resembling an incredibly destructive black hole as they charged toward the evil god's body. Filthy, evil mouth. Tear them apart. Looking at the sudden attack from both sides, a sigh came from within the evil god's body, and its massive mouth behind it once again surged out. This time, it was accompanied by a rush of sinister energy, which was sucked into the vortex. Boom, boom, boom. The moment the attacks collided, the entire abyssal vortex trembled violently. Even the space at the bottom of the vortex completely collapsed and vanished. Countless waves of destruction spread like the hands of death across the void, sending a chilling aura of annihilation, causing people to shudder in fear. Demonic power. Explode. Seeing the deadlock in the battle, a manic smile suddenly appeared on the face of the demon Xiao. He curled his fingers and pointed at the void, releasing an overwhelming force so powerful it sent shivers down the spine. Boom. The already collapsing abyssal vortex erupted again with a dark green explosive force. Violent power surged, and shockingly, it pushed the evil god's body back by several dozen steps. Under the combined attack of the two powers, the evil god's body began to turn ethereal. Clearly, this was the effect of the evil god's invincible, undying power. Xiao and the others' attacks had threatened the evil god's immortality. Xiao, being a wielder of undying, immortal power himself, naturally understood how to counter such strength. Undying and invincible, these were only true to a certain extent. If one could erase all of the life marks from the possessor, then invincibility was nothing more than a joke. The earlier approach of the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, which attempted to use the 8 sacred patterns and the flame god's cauldron to completely destroy the evil god's body, fell short of the required level of power. Now, with the demon appearing and the addition of demonic power and 3rd sacred flame strength, the evil god's body began to falter. After all, this was just an empty shell suppressed for countless years. The true master behind it was still an outsider, so the power the evil god's body could exhibit was limited. These two lunatics. At this moment, a sense of panic surged within the evil god's body. A serious look appeared in its eyes. Blood-clad evil shadow knew very well that the evil god's invincibility wasn't unbreakable. As long as the strength and attack power were enough to deliver a single blow capable of destroying the evil god's body, the evil god would face the threat of death. This won't do. It can't continue like this. I must awaken His Excellency the evil god. Otherwise, this plan will definitely end in failure. Faced with the combined forces of the demon Xiao and the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, fear finally surfaced within the evil god's body for the first time. Their near-peak strength at the 5th reincarnation stage, combined with the power of demonic and sacred flames, subtly pushed the evil god's body toward defeat. Filthy evil eye. Evil black mist surged from the evil god's chest and quickly rotated, merging into an evil, sinister vertical eye, which silently remained within the shattered abyssal vortex. The evil eye was surrounded by countless black mist tendrils, but upon careful inspection, there were no energy fluctuations emanating from it. Demonic sacred flame eyes. Seeing the evil god's body desperately fighting back, Xiao throat became dry, and a holy flame aura, enough to burn him to his very core, slowly began to rise from within him. Xiao, don't force yourself. Looking at the unyielding Xiao, Yun seemed to sense something and exclaimed in alarm. Demonic and sacred flame powers were two entirely different types of energy. Any imbalance between them could potentially lead to Xiao fall, even though his strength was immense. The threat he faced was overwhelming and dangerous. I'm fine. Within Xiao demonic eyes, boundless madness surged forth. However, no matter how massive the resentment and hostility, they never managed to penetrate Xiao mind. Thud. With a soft sound, the glass-like holy flame and the dark green demonic flame each occupied one of Xiao eyes. Not long after, 2 eyes, shimmering with faint ripples, quietly appeared above his head. The glass holy flame eye and the dark green demonic eye both took control of this space. The moment they appeared, the sacred flame power in the space, and the evil forces in the abyssal vortex all quieted down. They became humble, weak, as though they dared not defy any of the commands from the demonic sacred flame eyes. Xiao Yan, enough? Looking at Xiao Yan's grim expression and the exhaustion in his power, due to these eyes, Yun Yun's delicate face filled with cold pain. Her eyes carried a trace of blood-red sorrow. At this moment, we cannot give up halfway. Xiao Yan gritted his teeth and gently pushed Yun Yun aside. Her enchanting smile made her hesitate, ultimately not intervening to stop him. Immediately, he unleashed a dark green demon moon from his eyes, which spread throughout the abyssal vortex. The area fell into an eerie silence. Die! Blasphemy! Two distinct, low roars echoed, reverberating through the abyssal vortex like the thunder of the heavens. The deafening sound of explosions constantly rang out, and the shockwaves even caused the previously motionless man on the throne to tremble slightly. The clash between the dual pupils and the vertical eye was so intense that they seemed evenly matched for a moment. End this farce now. Pseudo-divine art, heavenly Tao reincarnation palm. As Xiao Yan, in his desperate state, battled on, the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame around him flickered with countless orange-gold inscriptions. His body vanished in a flash, returning to the source of the sacred flame. A colossal flaming palm, radiating an ancient aura, appeared in the air, dazzling and resplendent. When it struck, the entire abyssal vortex collapsed in an instant. It seemed that the energy contained within this strike was no longer simply the power of sacred flame. It was the force of heaven and earth, the power of the gods. Drawing on his understanding of reincarnation through the heavenly Tao reincarnation flame, Xiao Yan had created an attack technique that surpassed even the highest immortal arts. Though it wasn't as world-shattering as true divine arts, it was still a pseudo-divine art. Using this to annihilate the so-called evil god body, with its immortality and invincibility, seemed to have a very high chance of success. At that moment, the evil god body trembled,